A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. On the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
What up? High noon here on the Mason Crosby Show, all across the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. My name is Mitch Nellis. Tommy Wirtz is here, and Mason Crosby in the. You okay with your camera? Did you just get blinded or something?
No, I'm good. I'm trying something different. Just a little different lighting. Just messing with things. So, yeah, I don't know. I felt nice. I turned off all the lights in here. Just had this little. Little light shining on my face.
Is this something you learned during the wine podcast yesterday, perhaps?
Man, you would have loved it, Mitch. We had Drew Bledsoe on, and I try to keep those things going about 45 minutes. Try not to go over an hour, but we talked to him for about an hour and a half.
That's awesome.
It was awesome. I asked your question about the Brissett breaking his record streak. It was an awesome answer, by the way. You'll have to listen, but I will give you it was funny because I was just like, how'd you feel? Was that kind of one of the, he was like, honestly, I was pissed off.
Yeah.
I was pissed off, which I was like, wow, all right, I love it. I love that fire.
45-70. We beat the Vikings 26-20. Mitch Nellis was at State Street Brats watching every second of that game. I remember.
And then it was funny because I asked him about his arm. I was like, man, you threw 70 passes. How did that feel? And he was like, well, it's a funny story because my left tackle, I think it was Bruce Johnson. That
sounds right? Yeah.
Yeah, and he was they were at an event together, and he was just like, you know what? This is ridiculous. You threw 70 passes. I had to do 70 pass sets and block for 70 throwing.
Smash my head into another guy's helmet 70 times.
And they didn't give up a sack. And 70 wild. Pass attempts.
That's crazy.
How crazy is that?
Quick release Drew. That's what we called him.
Yeah. Exactly.
There's a different joke in there somewhere.
That's for the podcast, not for live radio. Yeah.
This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. We're all over your socials at WI Sports Radio. You can find us on YouTube and on Twitter. And our phone number is 414-677-1250. That's the Nicolay Law talk and text line, 414-677-1250. We're going to be talking about Giannis. Giannis hurt last night. We're all on pins and needles, kind of freaking out. And I have a prediction. I don't know if I want to say it publicly. I did say it privately in the office earlier today. Okay. We also want to know where you rank Jordan Love among quarterbacks in the NFC North. Yeah. Where do you rank him now? Because when the season started, I think we were all right, well, it's Mahomes and it's Allen and it's Lamar. Those are the top three. And then there's Jalen. And then there's everybody else.
Yeah.
Is it still that way? Does the NFC still feel that way? How have Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold and Matthew Stafford, Daniel Jones on the AFC side of things, how have they entered that conversation? So we'll get to that. But we'd love to hear your response. Where does Jordan Love rank in the NFC? Where does he rank in the NFC North? Where does he rank in all of football right now? Trevor Thomas, co-host of Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, weekdays 6 to 9 here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. He's going to join us in the next segment. And then Ryan Wood, whenever he can't join us on Mondays, jumps on with us on Tuesdays. He'll join with us in the 1 o'clock hour as well. So Mace, I don't know if you want to jump into Jordan Love, if you wanted to jump into Giannis, wherever you kind of want to. Wherever
I like this quarterback conversation.
Okay.
Geno Smith is not on that list. I'm watching this.
He is
right now. Definitely not on that list.
Is there a reason he's been 7,000 times worse than he was? Is it a Raiders thing? Are the Raiders just a really bad?
Raiders are just bad. Yeah, it's tough.
But
I do think Pete Carroll could get him going that way. He could get him going the right direction. But.
Well, and what makes in the NFL an organization that bad? Don't enough players switch teams and enough front office people and enough coaches that you can change a culture pretty easily if you bring the right people in? Why does Geno Smith go from decent in Seattle, not great, but decent, to things are horrible in Vegas with the Raiders. And the Raiders have that, even in years they've made the playoffs, like they've been dysfunctional. Like
it's a function of from the top down. I mean, organizations, and I will say this is something that Rich Bisaccia said that I thought was really actually very interesting whenever he was there for that year in Green Bay, and he was just like a family. You kind of you bring up kind of the weakest, right? And it's like a family. It's like all right, we take care of the young ones and the grandparents, and like you try to bring everybody up to that level. But in an NFL and an organization, it's from the top runs the show, right? It's like everybody. If you're not good enough, you're gonna be left behind. Like it's a top heavy thing. So if the top is really bad, like it's not going to be good down below it, right? So I think bad organizations from the top are really bad. And I even saw it for the New York Giants. Then they set Carter, their defensive end, the young guy, right?
Yeah,
they set him for Abdul
Carter.
Carter.
Was late for a meeting or
because he was late. And they
yep.
said that when Dayball was there, they were letting it slide. Like he was late for meetings. He was doing like things he shouldn't. And it was sliding. And Kafka comes in and he's like, hey, like, that's not going to fly while I'm the head coach for the rest of this season. I saw that Schottenheimer there for the Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb and Pickens did not play that first series because of some disciplinary issue.
How about Malik Heath not even traveling with the team this weekend?
And the Packers have shown that. And I will say that, like a tip to Matt LaFleur on that. He has done things like that with Jair and with Dobbs and So he but that's good organizational stuff. That is from the top down. So bad organizations are bad leadership, bad ownership, bad from the top down, and that's just how it works in professional sports. So I got off on a tangent.
Yeah.
But,
so back to the quarterback discussion.
Let's go talk about quarterbacks. I guess I was just trolling. The Raiders and Geno Smith,
which I think is fair game for all of us, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
To trail, that's just like sport. Like you get to troll the Raiders every once in a while.
That's right.
So let's start NFC North specific.
Okay, let's go right there. Yeah.
Let's all agree JJ McCarthy's fourth. Right? Yeah. Okay.
Or fifth. I mean, maybe Wentz is better. I don't know.
Or Malik Willis.
Yeah, maybe he's sixth. I don't know.
All right.
No, he's fourth.
Starting quarterback. He's fourth.
All right. Man, more specific. Starting quarterbacks. Got it.
Caleb Williams, Jordan Love, Jared Goff.
Okay.
You're wearing your Lions blue today, Mason.
I do have it. Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
That's all right. That's okay. Yeah. No, it's a good blue.
You're kind of in a shade of blue. We're fine.
I am. Yeah. Where do you rank those three quarterbacks today? Not the beginning of the season, not where you think they'll be at the end of the season or where they'll be 5 years from now. Today, taking into account stats, taking into account eye tests, taking into account standings.
Yeah.
How do you rank those three quarterbacks right now?
Well, I'm going to put I guess we'll go JJ McCarthy, so we'll go up the list. Okay. I'm honestly right now, and I'm kind of a Jared Goff hater. Like I don't think he is actually just a dynamic, great quarterback. So I'm going to put Jared Goff at 3 right now.
Okay.
And then I put Caleb Williams, just what he's been able to do in these games, winning close games and not doing anything out of the ordinary, crazy, playing decent quarterback. Ben Johnson has him fairly dialed in. I'd put him at 2, and then Jordan Love. And then NFC North, Jordan has to be the number one quarterback. His numbers speak for themselves. He's having a great season. Last game, like when you looked at it, his PFF grade, what was a 93.6?
Right, his best game ever. His best game as a starter.
Did not have a bad throw. Like the only bad things that happened were drops. Right. I mean, he was hitting guys right in their hands and they were messing up. So I think Jordan Love's playing at a high level, only 3 interceptions on the year. Just an awesome season. So Jordan Love's top of my list for the NFC North.
I don't hate Goff at 3 right now. They're just, I like Goff, but they're just a little out of sync. Like they're not. I don't know. They don't look like
2 dynamic receivers, and
right.
You got a good team. You got great running backs. It's just a little off, right?
Tommy, you don't like that?
No, I think Caleb Williams is still 3, even though the team success is obviously the best of the 3 right now. But Caleb Williams is not really having that impressive of a season to me, other than the win total. The win total is great. However, they have one kind of lucky at a couple of the end of the games right now. Last week they had the Bengals game and the Vikings game. Actually, the Vikings game they probably should have won. But when you look at the last couple of weeks, I mean, Caleb Williams' numbers this season. So Jordan Love is completing 67.7% of his passes. Caleb Williams is completing 59.7% of his passes.
Okay.
He has less passing yards than Jordan Love. He has less touchdowns than Jordan Love, and he has more interceptions than Jordan Love this season. Every single stat is worse.
What about Jared Goff, though?
Jared Goff.
Jordan Love's the top. So.
Yeah. So Jared Goff's numbers look like this. Jordan Love is
almost exactly the same.
They're very similar. Yeah, I have them up for Mitch right here on a board, but he has 6 less completions than Jared Goff this year, and the exact same amount of attempts. That's the number to look at, right? 69.7% for Jared Goff, 67.7 for Jordan Love. Jared Goff has 2490 on yards. Jordan Love has 2421.
70 more yards total.
And he has 6 more touchdowns. That's a number. 21 versus 15, but more interceptions, 4 to 3
by the numbers,
for Jared Goff.
Yes, you would put Jared Goff at 2 then behind Jordan Love.
I mean,
or would you put Goff at 1?
Goff and
Is
Love,
that what you're saying, Tommy?
So numbers only.
Goff at 1.
Numbers only.
Jeez.
Goff and Love are a coin flip, and they are better than Williams.
I think that's a very good statement from Mitch. And I think Goff's numbers are better than Jordan Love. I would also say that I think Jared Goff's operating with a much better offense than Jordan Love is operating with. Maybe you could say the same thing about Caleb Williams.
But that's what I'm saying. Goff has a much better offense than Caleb Williams has.
If Jordan Love was playing with Jahmyr Gibbs, or if Jordan Love was playing with Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think his numbers look a lot better. And
Jamison Williams?
Well, but JMO is like
he's up and down.
Right.
It's all right.
Every time I haven't played him in fantasy, I didn't listen to Mikey. He went off. I didn't play him this week.
Mason, how often do you look at quarterback rating? Do you believe in quarterback rating as a fair stat or something that's relevant? And the reason I ask, Jared Goff is second in the NFC at 110. Jordan Love is 5th at 103. Caleb Williams is 14th at 90.
NFC.
In the NFC.
It's one of the worst in the league.
Yeah.
So I can flip
90
those two.
Is one of the worst
that's fine because those two are interchangeable, but I would just say with what the Lions are supposed to be, what they are on offense, Goff's throwing the ball. He's doing okay, right? But I still feel like your team goes how the quarterback goes in those situations, and I'm just not sure Goff would be as good on the Bears as he is on Detroit.
Well, here's another question.
I'm not putting him in that elite category.
Would any quarterback in the NFC North have a better record with the Green Bay Packers than Jordan Love does?
Would any quarterback? No, I don't think so.
No, not in the NFC North. And okay, well now if we brought,
I do honestly think Jared Goff could come and in LaFleur's office, whatever. LaFleur would dial some, they would be able to figure out how to get Goff throwing the ball around to people. But as far as weapons, I think Jordan Love is definitely the best option for Green Bay Packers right now, and nobody else in that division could do what he's doing.
All right, so we have the passing yards. The passing yards, Goff's at 2490, Love's at 2420, Williams is at 2330. If you add rushing yards, Williams is Caleb's number 1. Passing plus rushing, Caleb is number 1 over Love and over Goff.
Interesting.
I'm just throwing that out there too. I'm just food for thought. His legs are part of his equation. He keeps plays alive. All his fourth quarter comebacks include a 20-yard scramble at some point.
So he's made something happen to help them get those wins.
Yep.
And I think that is a difference maker in my mind for this season. I'm not a fan of Caleb Williams.
Right.
Let
We're
me
talking
get that
right now
clear.
today.
Yeah, today.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Today, I think Goff is 3. I think that could change next week, just like the standings could change next week.
I think the Bears, I think it's just because the Bears are leading the division and they have surprised all of us with how they've played. You have to kind of recognize that Caleb Williams is a big part of that.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Okay, so then we open it up to the NFC. Okay, so you have Love number 1 in the NFC in NFC North.
Yep.
Caleb 2, Goff 3. knowing they're all pretty close in terms of stats and obviously standings. They're all one game apart. Yeah. In the NFC, when we look at quarterback rating, Matthew Stafford is 1, Jared Goff is 2, Jalen Hurts is 3, Sam Darnold is 4, Jordan Love 5, Dak Prescott 6. I mean, Brock Purdy and Jacoby Brissett are like 7th, but I don't think either of them.
Respect on Jacoby's name.
You're right.
Put some respect on it.
Then Mac Jones, then Baker Mayfield, then Jaden Daniels, then Jackson Dart, then Caleb Williams.
I don't think there's any argument that Matthew Stafford is not playing the best quarterback ball in the NFC this year. Am I wrong on that?
27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 27-2. That's unbelievable.
I'm looking right now.
Jalen Hurts is 16-1.
Total QBR.
Yep.
Jordan Love is number 3 behind Dak Prescott and
Sam Darnold. Yes, QBR. It's Prescott, Darnold, Love, then Stafford.
Yeah. So what does that take into account, the QBR?
QBR is just ESPN's way of saying quarterback rating, which I know.
That's their made up. That's their made up quarterback
rating. But it's definitely a stat that always seems to benefit Jordan Love. He was like 5th or 6th in the league last year.
I believe it weighed wins and losses a little bit more than quarterback rating, which doesn't weigh wins and losses at all.
Who'd you say Dak Prescott and who were above him?
In QBR?
Yeah.
Prescott and Darnold are above.
Well, Sam Darnold just threw 4 picks in a game, so I think he's disqualified from the conversation.
He's still 4th in the NFC.
Yeah,
in regular quarterback rating.
I think Dak Prescott is having an interesting season where
he's having a heck of a year.
Yeah, where I wonder, like, should he be taken more seriously as a quarterback? And he's just stuck in Dallas right now. I think it's an interesting conversation.
Not a bad point.
But I'm looking at it from a perspective of who would you rather see be playing at the quarterback position for Green Bay if you are not happy with Jordan Love, because I think that this argument is trying to promote that Jordan Love's playing as good a football as anyone else in the NFC right now.
Yeah, let's just say on the Mason Crosby show, if you aren't happy with how Jordan Love's playing, just like stop being a fan of the Green Bay Packers. Like I'm fine saying that. Please just stop. It's go be a fan of the Vikings, go be a fan of the Bears, go somewhere else, because Jordan Love is playing at a high level. Like there isn't a quarterback on this list that you could just plug in and say, oh, they're gonna do so much better. What you want? You want somebody to not throw interceptions? Sure, that's great. But he's thrown 3 interceptions. Like, relax. Like, Jordan Love is playing at a high level. We have to give him his accolades for that and give applause to, like, how he has played. And this team is where they're at because of play from Jordan Love and that defense.
Yep, 414-677-1250 is the phone number. Your thoughts, 414 writes in, what's the quarterback QBR efficiency for those quarterbacks? I think that stat says it all. I think we're already on board by that. We agree that stat does not say it all, unless you'd say Prescott and Darnold are your 2 best quarterbacks in the NFC, which I don't think. Remember that being a head coach doesn't make you a great play caller, says another 414. And then Tyson from Zilla wants to give a shout out to Drew Bledsoe. He's a Washingtonian. He was born and raised in Ellensburg, which is about 45 minutes from Zilla. And that's Tyson from Zilla, Washington. I agree with that. I mean, shout out
Walla Walla.
Yeah.
Yep. He lives back in Walla Walla making great wine out there. So
nice. Love
good
that.
Shout out.
I think this is a good living, breathing conversation. Like we stated this as who would you take who would you rank right now? Well, the thing is, just like the standings, just like the season, none of it's over. Like we still have the Packers are 6-3-1, right?
Yep.
So they played 10 games. They still have 7 games to go.
Yep.
There's still
a lot of ball.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what percentages are divided by 17 because the NFC made up these fake numbers in seasons. But 7/17, probably 40-something% of the season left to go.
Yep.
We all agree Jordan Love is a top 5 quarterback in the NFC.
Oh, for
probably.
Sure. Yeah, I think I would say top 3.
You'd say top 3.
I think again something that I looked at that maybe hurts him is fantasy football. Yeah. I think he is like ranked like 15th or 16th.
But that's because Josh Jacobs gets all the touchdowns.
Exactly. So I'm saying, I don't think so I think some people too that play fantasy, they're like, wow, I got Jordan Love on my team. He's only getting me 15, fantasy points a game, which is a real thing. People are like, he's not that great. He's not getting me fantasy points. But
I mean,
if you look at the numbers, I mean, here, if you're just looking at that QBR, like I'd put Dak Prescott's playing at a high level. He's doing a great job. Sam Darnold minus last game, having a great year. I mean, I'm putting him. He's definitely top 4. Jordan Love all day, every day, because that number 5 spot's going to rotate. You're going to have Baker Mayfield in there.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts is going to be in there, even though his rating isn't always that high. Yeah, even Mac Jones, Jackson Dart was playing at a high level before he got hurt.
I mean, and Jackson Dart, that, for example, he's only got 10 touchdowns, but he has 7 rushing touchdowns. He leads the quarterbacks in rushing touchdowns.
But I think you can say top 4: Dak, Stafford, Love, and Darnold.
You know who would
and no
have
Baker.
Great insight on
Not
this?
right now. Yeah,
okay.
he's kind of up and down, I guess.
Who's that?
Trevor Thomas.
Okay,
all right, let's ask him.
All right. Trevor Thomas, Inside Wisconsin Sports, going to join us next when we come back here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. For those of you not on, for those of you on the radio and not on YouTube, that's a great song, but I don't know who decided that should go in like a sports radio bump mix. Like whoever made that decision is broken in the brain.
I loved when Crosby
like what
emerged as soon as
man, I could use a nap. It is rainy. It is rainy out. It is like, what was that, Mace?
I said insane in the brain.
Yeah. This is definitely not that.
We need that.
Speaking of insane in the brain,
good one.
Joining us now on the guest hotline powered by Gruber Law, one called That's All. He is the co-host of Inside Wisconsin Sports, 6A to 9A, right here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Our very good friend Trevor Thomas. What up, Double T?
I feel like I'm supposed to say insane in the brain.
Nailed it.
Insane in the membrane.
I don't know the words.
Wow.
I don't exactly.
I do, but nobody.
Only Mitch. Only Mitch knows those words.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Oh, nothing. Just woke up from a nap to come and hang out with you guys. I mean, 4 a.m.'s no joke, boys, but I'm having a blast, and I'm grateful to be on with you. And I was listening/watching on YouTube, and I heard Tommy say, you know who would have great insight on that? Trevor Thomas. I'm like, oh, crap. Wasn't listening that closely, so I had to go back and listen to what you guys were talking about.
Man, that's a professional right there. Yeah. So are you in studio? You at your house? What are you doing? Like, were you napping in the studio? What's going on?
No, I left for a little bit, took a little snooze.
Nice.
I'm a 20-minute power nap guy. If I get 20 minutes, I am good to go. That's all I need. So whether it's late morning and then come back to the studio, I came back to the radio station here in Green Bay, or if it's middle of the afternoon, I don't care when. Just give me 20 minutes and I can probably stay up till about 9:30, 10 o'clock. Then we're good to go.
I'm right there with you. I mean, if I need something, Molly doesn't understand, like it'll be 8 o'clock at night. And I'm just going to lay down with the kids for a sec, like get them tucked in. I'll take about a 20-minute like snooze fest. And then I can crush whatever things, she has planned for the rest of the evening. So it's wild. Sometimes it backfires because then I'm up till like midnight, but it's all good. But we were talking, what were we talking about, Tommy, that you said Trevor could have some insight on?
Jordan Love. Jordan Love. How many NFC quarterbacks are you taking over Jordan Love right now? Just on today, this play, this season, if you could have next week, we were talking about the NFC North, and I think we decided that no one in the NFC North, but realistically, how good has the QB play been that if you have any complaints about Jordan Love?
I took this and compared it to the rest of the Packers' schedule. So we added Bo Nix into the conversation just now. We added Lamar Jackson. Then we took the 3 quarterbacks from the other teams in the NFC North. The only one better that the Packers potentially see, if they all stay healthy the rest of the way, is Lamar Jackson. And it's only because of his ability to run and throw. That's just something Jordan doesn't have the best ability. Tommy loves talking about this. Malik Willis, quite the scamperer. But other than that potential for the Packers, I would maybe take Lamar Jackson. But other than that, Jordan Love is playing as good as we can possibly expect him to. You guys, imagine if we don't have the drops on Sunday.
Yeah.
We're talking about an elite quarterback that is by far number one. We'll get there.
Yeah, maybe one of the best games, we would have seen by a quarterback in green and gold in a long time. I mean, minus those drops, like it was an elite day, right? Stat line didn't just look good as far as completion percentage, things like that. But again, a lot of those were drops. But are you saying, Trevor, then, like what I think you're saying, like you think Malik Willis needs to play a little bit on this offense? Because that's, I think, what Tommy said yesterday.
Slow down. Slow down.
So we actually had this very talk this morning on Inside.
All right. Yes, here we go.
And I have to ask you a question, Mace, that is going to come across not well, but here we go.
Okay.
Should we go for 2 sporadically or every once in a while, or should we constantly kick the extra point? There was somebody this morning that said, what if we used Malik Willis as somebody on a go for 2 style package where you're not sure if he's going to keep the ball, throw the ball, hand the ball off, do a bootleg? There's a lot of options. And I looked up the stats to see how regular making an extra point is from where they have it now versus where it was when you played, Mason, versus going for 2. And it's a 50-50 chance to make 2 points. And it's more like a 95% chance of making the extra point. So I think we could use Malik Willis in a situation where that's a different look at a wildcat or that's a different look at a 2-point conversion, but I'm not trying to step on any kicker's toes.
Well, let me throw this at you, Trevor, because I remember when the line changed to the 15-yard line for extra points, there was a lot of talk like, oh my gosh, teams are just going to go for 2 all the time, right? Like guys are going to be missing extra points like crazy, like it's going to be that hard. And then you realize, and there were a couple teams that I think dabbled in that. Who was it? Who was it? The Steelers? I think the Steelers they were trying it a little bit. But like, I think they realized you literally have to go for 2 every time to get to that 50-50 type proposition. And then you realize that, okay, kicking an extra point is actually a better situation. Or you're going for 2 and then how the score falls. And now, all right, we just need an extra point to take the lead late in the game, because you didn't get a couple of those 2-point conversions. It kind of skews it a little bit. So I don't think it's like go for 2 all the time, but I wouldn't be opposed in that situation, because I don't think Malik Willis in regular play, like in the course of a game, you don't want to bring him in and it's like, all right, well, now we know what they're trying to do here. But in a 2-point situation, that's not a bad option. Like in a late in a game where you're trying to get something different going, you put Malik and Jordan out there. Who knows? I mean, he pitches the ball, he throws it. Like let's do some crazy stuff. Or what if they got 2 kickers on the roster. Why don't they just alternate kicks in the game? Like, might as well just get them both playing at some point here if we're just going to get wild. But no, I don't think unless you're willing to go for 2, no matter what, that those numbers are going to be that 50-50 proposition. I feel like it's like you got to just ride with it or it changes over time.
Well, and Mason, sure. I want to bring up that point too, because I think I was having this conversation with Josh earlier this morning after they had this conversation on Inside Wisconsin Sports. Like, you kind of talked about it when we ask you, can you get off the couch and go hit a 50-yarder? Like, those 35-yard extra points feels like it keeps the leg loose, like in case they need a big kick at the end of the game rather than just coming out cold and we need you to hit from 60, right?
It has changed it for sure. I mean, and now, you're getting a lot of reps with those 3 steps on the kickoffs because now you're not like doing a different approach. So, you're getting so many opportunities to hit field goals in a sense throughout the course of a game. But that I will say that 33-yard extra point was a game changer. I think you've seen now you basically have 12 kind of established kickers that are like secure on rosters. And then the rest of the NFL, the next 20 are kind of a revolving door. Like you're not sure who's going to be a kicker on every team on these other 20 teams every year, because if you miss 2 extra points, if you miss a field goal in a big game, you're probably going to be replaced by somebody else, and they're going to find that next guy that can come in and do it.
So I'm wondering also here about what's the movie that Matt LaFleur talked about in his presser yesterday?
Ace Ventura.
Laces out, Dan. Yeah, Ace Ventura. If you thought the kicking conversation was in a weird spot in Green Bay, now we're talking about Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
So the other question is, do the laces in versus out really matter? And I bring this up because Brett Good was on our show. Somebody quite well.
Yes. Love it.
And he said, undeniably, when he was snapping, his laces were out, period. End of story. Yeah. He knew exactly what to do. I asked Josh this morning, hey, who's the name of the long snapper on the Packers? He goes, I don't know. And I said, me neither, because we should never be talking about them. Yep. But here we are. So do the laces in versus out thing really make a big difference?
Brett would snap, like his miss was like 11-1. So that was like kind of his miss. Like it was just a little quarter turn, if anything. And they, oh my gosh, we always had that argument. I don't know if you brought this, like, because I would say a half turn and he'd be like, it's a quarter turn. And I'm like, well, like if he ever got laces like here, I'm like, that's a half turn. He's like, no, that's a quarter turn. And I'm like, he literally thought if it was like laces back and you turned it, that's a half turn. And I'm like, well, in my mind, that's laces back. That's a full turn. So we always had that argument like a bunch of idiots. We played together for 10 years. So it was always a good back and forth. But yes, Brett was one of the best. I always joked. I was like, every game, every first snap in warmups, he would throw laces straight back. And I'm just like, what's going on? You've thrown 100 snaps, laces perfect, in that first one. it's Laces straight back, and then he'd get it corrected. But yeah, that kick Haversick had on Sunday, extra point, Laces were straight back. I would always prefer Laces straight back, lean correct, spot correct, all of that. I could make that kick way more than if the Laces were pointing left or right, like either towards the holder or away from the holder. Because when you hit that ball, the ball tends to want to go where the Laces are pointing. So that's kind of because it compresses against those Laces, and that's kind of the only part of the ball that's a little different and not smooth and round. So the ball tends to go where the Laces are pointing, just for a little inside kicking knowledge there.
Nice.
But I have seen some weird things. People are making excuses. It's obviously people are complaining about it, but they're also like, oh, it was windy. Oh, the Laces were bad. I'm like, I don't remember anyone making those excuses for me when I missed a kick. Come on. I mean, I know Mitch and Tommy was on his couch as a 12-year-old complaining about me. Mitch was on the radio, saying, get a new guy.
Get rid of this guy.
Yeah, he can't make a kick to save his life.
Del Greco?
Ball's spinning in circles, laying on the ground, and I'm trying to make kicks and 10 degrees and 40-mile-an-hour winds. This is ridiculous.
Bill Gramatica is not walking through that door.
No, he's not coming back. All right, Trevor, let's talk some serious ball for one moment. We beat the Giants. We're in a good spot, and 5 of the next 7 games are against division teams. First off, here at home against the Minnesota Vikings. What are we looking at for this Packers team? Obviously, these next 2 are really important. 2 games in 5 days. It's gonna be critical to come out at least 1-1 in this, but 2-0 would really set this team apart. What are you looking at here?
This should be the Packers' breakout game. I know that each team in the NFC North gets up for these division games differently, but I feel like the Packers are right there. I mean, if we really corrected, let's just say, and I said this morning, a third of the mistakes / missed opportunities, whether it was offense and the drop balls, defense with the dropped interceptions, or special teams with the missed kicks. I mean, thank God for Daniel Whelan.
Yeah.
He flipped the field numerous times on Sunday. Imagine if we put together a third of what those misses were. We're having a different conversation. I feel like this could be the game against a Vikings team that's down, that we should be able to have a breakout game. And for all of us in this profession on Monday morning to go, see, we're okay.
Yep.
Everything's going to be all right. So I think stick to the game plan, whatever that may be. At the end of the day, the Vikings are bad right now, and I feel like the Packers aren't. And so if the Packers can put together a complete game at Lambeau, noon start, hopefully decent weather.
Hold on. What is a complete game? Because I don't think anyone in the NFL in 2025 is capable of playing a 60-minute dominant game against anyone else. We haven't seen one team in 13 weeks. We've had 300 games, 400 games, whatever it is. No one is playing a complete game. So when you say a complete game for the Packers, what does that mean specifically for the Packers in terms of mistakes they need to eliminate that makes it a good enough game that it feels complete? Whether
they eliminated pre-snap penalties and some self-inflicted things penalty-wise, but then they had drops, right?
Yeah.
So I think is that kind of what you might be saying there,
okay.
Trevor?
I just wanted to clear it up because I don't like that phrase complete game, because no one's playing a mistake-free complete.
There's always going to be mistakes. Right. I think it's how you feel after, honestly, probably more.
And I think the most complete games we see are because the other team looks so terrible. I think of the Chiefs beating the Raiders 31-0. I don't give that to the Chiefs as they played a complete game. I think of the Raiders are so garbage. Am I wrong on that, Trevor?
Maybe it's a little bit of both, though. But can both be true, Tommy? All right, Trevor, go ahead.
Which question am I answering at this point?
Yeah.
Jeez.
There's no question. Just
talk.
Complete game. Complete game.
Here's the conversation about the complete game. Let's go back to the first game of the season against the Lions. What happened in that game that would allow us to believe if there was a complete-ish game, that would be it? Number one, Jordan Love has a multiple touchdown game and scores in the first quarter. We have to start fast.
Yes,
quick,
I totally agree with you on that.
Okay, so that's one. Number two, there needs to be a rushing touchdown of some kind. I don't care if it's a goal line rush or a breakout for 40 yards or somewhere in between. There has to be a rushing touchdown. Now we've established the run and we've established the pass. Good. Offense humming. Fewer drops, that'd be great. But as long as we have a multiple touchdown game by Jordan Love and at least one touchdown game by whoever's rushing, that's a complete-ish game on the offense. Now look at the defense. There has to be at least one takeaway. Could be an interception, could be a fumble recovery. Something has to happen on the defense for us to stop and then capitalize that on offense. That would be a complete game. It'd be great if Micah Parsons got home. It'd be great if we could stop the run. It'd be great if Keyshawn Nixon really showed up in the secondary. Or let's just have Xavier McKinney show up in the safety position and grab a pick that he's so capable of doing. And then special teams. Can we possibly have a flawless game on special teams? Can we make all of the kicks that we attempt? Can we do all of the punting at such a high level that we've been able to do? There's 3, but I truly believe there are 4 phases. I want to come out of a complete game with the things I just listed and a confident Matt LaFleur. And when I say confident, I mean him feeling confident and us feeling confident in him. We have not seen that game yet, where all 3 phases on the field are on the same page and performing at a high level, executing on the things that they're being paid to execute on, and we all look and go, huh, Matt LaFleur had a pretty good game.
Yeah. No, I can. And so then like the word that comes to mind when you say you're saying complete game and you phrase it how you did is a dominant game. You want to see this team take the step from a good team that has won 6 games. And like, we shouldn't be like, I mean, if we're somewhere else and like not talking in Wisconsin, we're like 6-3-1. We're pretty excited about that. Right. So we're kind of nitpicking a little bit, but yes, like you want to see a complete dominant performance where it's like, all right, this team gives us the mindset that they're going to go and they're going to be competitive down the stretch and have a chance to do something in the playoffs. Because right now it's like they've had dominant moments, but not a dominant game. Even in that Lions game, I mean, they shot themselves in the foot a few times, like things like that, but they were found to win. So we can be happy about the wins, but you want to see, like, can this team prove to be dominant?
That's that breakout game that I'm talking about. The one where we all go. I mean, we talked about this last week. We were hoping for a multiple touchdown, maybe even 20-point victory against the Giants. And I feel like we would all have said that was a dominating game. That was a breakout game. Now, Drop City and Shank-a-Lot wasn't not so dominant, right?
Sir Shanks-a-Lot. I love it.
Shanks-a-Lot. I said that this morning.
Nice.
I don't know that we can't expect that against the Vikings. I really think it's that close. Do you guys feel that way? I really think,
especially at home. Yeah, this time of year against the Vikings team that just is on the ropes, like not sure what they're going to be about. Like this, this could be one of those games. I totally agree with you, Trevor.
The word that came to my mind was impossible when Trevor Thomas was explaining all of that. By the way, well, I don't know. I don't think that team is capable of this.
Maybe not. And confidence is key. So let's look at a team that, let's just say, has a very near dominant game. Now the confidence clicks up. Now they come into Detroit, and let's just say they don't win, but they played really well. Now their confidence is up. Now the 5 out of the next 7 games are against the divisional opponents, guys. A confident Packers team is kind of like peaking at the right part of the season for the Brewers. They peaked too early, right? Well, good news. Packers haven't even come close to peaking yet. And if we have a dominant victory against the Vikings, I think we're on the way.
Yeah, Trevor, I totally agree with you. And I think that like what you said, starting fast, scoring first, getting a lead, this team is, and then the word front runner can sometimes be bad, but like this team is built to get a lead and then unleash that defense, right? So like they need to find a way to be very positive early on offense and get a lead.
For sure.
Keep the defense off the field.
Because that will make all of us feel confident, right? Like you get a lead and let that defense go after an offense.
With a lead,
it's going to make everybody feel confident that you are playing a more dominant, complete game, and even if mistakes happen throughout that.
And not give up 20-minute drives. That would be nice too. Trevor, we got to run. Thank you so much for jumping on with us. Trevor Thomas, Inside Wisconsin Sports. Follow him at Trevor Thomas IW and all the good places that you follow him on the socials. Listen to him every morning, 6 to 9 with Josh Albrecht as well. Trevor, thanks so much.
You got it. Good night, boys.
Appreciate you.
Good night. Have a good another Power 20. Trevor jumping on with us on the guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. We'll be back to wrap up the hour and Ryan Wood at 1:00. This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon.
Oh, yeah.
This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. If you were listening just now, you heard that Dave Wanstead is going to be on with Sparky today at 3:20 to talk about Jeff Hafley. They coached together. Jeff Hafley coached on Dave Wanstead's staff at Pitt, University of Pittsburgh, 173 years ago. So
nice.
So we'll get
that'll be fun.
We'll hear Wani's take on that. Again, our thanks to Trevor Thomas for jumping on the guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. Ryan Wood is set to go in just a little bit here. Just literally
a couple minutes.
Yeah, just literally minutes away.
We didn't time this well.
Yeah, no. Well, you just kept talking, bro.
I know. I'm a chatty.
You and Trevor, like, I mean, I want you guys on a podcast because you guys were really interested.
I don't know. Trevor he has one of the best voices I've ever heard.
That's his thing. Like, he's
unbelievable.
Do you know how tall Trevor is? Have we talked about this?
I've seen him. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was at Verizon.
Oh, that's right. He did me to say, 6'7", 6'8", no big deal.
Oh, stop it.
He is 6'8". He is 6'8".
Why'd you do that?
Because he was telling a story that, like, when he played sports in high school, he was 6'7".
Yeah.
And then when he quit sports, he grew another inch.
It happened.
Like as a high schooler.
That compression.
So, yeah, exactly.
I love how you said 6'7" so much that now Mason hates it more than I do.
I didn't even say it though. I didn't even say it with inflection there.
You totally did.
I said it
you
as
knew what
a
you
height.
were doing.
I said relax. He's Mason Crosby. He's Tommy Wirtz. None of us are 6'7". Ryan Wood is joining us next. We're going to dive deep into more Packers talk, more Matt LaFleur, more Jordan Love. He's the best of all time. This is the Mason Crosby Show.
Let's do it.
A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. On the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Kids, if you're off of school, because Tommy doesn't think kids go to school anymore.
They never go to school. I bet you Ryan's got kids at home right now. Kids just don't go to school anymore.
Slow down. My kid tried to do a headstand or handstand at school today and landed on her tailbone. So I got like a note from the nurse. I said, why don't you go ahead and drug her up? Like, give her some Tylenol or Advil or whatever you need to give her.
Keep her there.
Make her feel better.
We don't have time for this.
Nope. We haven't gotten into Giannis. We'll get into Giannis in the next segment. And the Bucks with the loss last night in Cleveland. They kept it close for a while, let it go at the end. Number 23 Badgers improved to 4-0 with their win last night over Southern Indiana University, Edwardsville.
Southern University, Edwardsville.
Excuse me, my bad. But joining us now on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, our very good friend in Lambeau Land. He is Ryan Wood. Hello, Ryan.
Hey, yeah, Lambeau Land back from the Big Apple. How we doing, guys?
Nice. You enjoying it back? I mean, did you have any fun out there in New York? Did you go into New York or did you just stay in Jersey?
Oh, I always make it a point to go into New York. You got to soak up, even if it's a few hours. So, yeah, I walked across the Brooklyn Bridge for the first time, which is kind of crazy. I've been to New York.
Did you go to the pizza place right at the bottom of on the Brooklyn side?
I didn't. No. As soon as I got across, I walked Brooklyn to Manhattan. As soon as I got across, I went to Times Square, had some Carmine's in Times Square, which is phenomenal. Family portion Italian restaurant. Did a little Times Square, and yeah, it was a good time.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah. Well, Ryan, we just had Trevor Thomas on a few minutes ago, and we were talking all things Packers and talking about this game coming up as well. So we'll get to that, but we didn't get to talk to you yesterday. So tell us what you thought about this Giants game first, and then we'll dive into what's going on this weekend.
Yeah, regardless of all the things that went wrong, and between the offense and defense, they had 9 drop passes. There was a lot that went wrong. They got a win on the road when they had to get a win. They could not drop to 5-4-1 with 3 straight losses. They could not lose to another inferior opponent, and they avoided all that for a week. Now, the value of that's really going to be determined this week, right? Like they did what they needed to do, but now is the time in the season when you have to stop being up and down every week. You have to level your play out, be consistent, and build on these wins. So I think it's full steam ahead of the Vikings. That's going to be really what determines whatever value there was of beating the Giants.
Yeah, so we talked about a complete game, dominant game with Trevor. What do you think a complete game looks like for a Packers team, especially like against a team like the Vikings this weekend?
Yeah, a complete game would be giving up less than 20 points and scoring 30. Right, this offense has it in itself to score. They hit the 30-point mark. Seems like they always get stuck on 27 on all these wins, but they can get to 30 points even against a solid Vikings defense. And then it's amazing. They played 10 games this season. I believe the 20 points they allowed against the Giants was like their fourth most. Like, this is a defense that just routinely does not allow 20 points in a game. And that's stunning. Over the last decade, I mean, how many times have we seen a Packers defense that can even do that? So this is a defense against J.J. McCarthy that should give up very, very little at home.
Yeah, especially Ryan in that Giants game. If they get those interceptions, I mean, that game could have just gone crazy for the Packers, right? Like, I mean, if Valentine gets one of those early picks, I mean, that thing could have gone off the rails for the Giants pretty quick. They stuck around, and that's kind of my mind, right? Like, this Packers team is built as the word front runner is like some used in bad terms a lot, but they're built to get a lead and then unleash that defense. Do you agree with that? Is that kind of how you see this team being super successful down the stretch?
Yeah, they had that formula down pat to start the season.
That's how they started, right? Yeah.
First 5 games of this season, every single one of them, they had a double-digit lead before allowing a single point. That's impressive. Now, I do think that there's value in a win like what they had against the Giants, where you give up a touchdown on the opening script. You're down 7-0 before touching the ball, and you got to figure it out. You have to figure out a way in those circumstances to still come out with a road victory, because as much as they are built with that pass rush to kind of play with the lead and get after the quarterback, it's just not going to happen every single week over a 17-game schedule. You got to be able to do it the other way too, and they've done it a couple times now. I think of the Cardinals game on the road and playing from behind, and obviously in Pittsburgh they were down at halftime and came back in the second half and put it on the Steelers. So they've shown that they can do it that way as well. What they haven't shown is consistency week in and week out. Like that. Yeah. That is what I'm curious to see. Can you string together multiple weeks of solid, consistent, good play? They haven't done that.
Well, and we found that, and Ryan Wood's here with us with the Green Bay Press Gazette on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. What we found out is that is the team's identity, right? Lack of identity, lack of consistency is the team's identity, at least through 10 games.
They are consistently inconsistent. And it's tough.
Nailed it.
It's tough.
I hate that.
Yeah, you're supposed to hate that, Mason. You're not supposed to be happy with that.
Here's the problem with that. There's only one bye per conference. It is very difficult to string together the 4 wins that you need in January to make a Super Bowl run if you're consistently inconsistent. So they have 7 games now to figure that out. That's why I think it's so urgent that they do, because this is a team designed to make that run, and you can't do it being consistently inconsistent.
Well, let's talk about some of those consistently inconsistent places. What comes to mind is, Rashawn Gary out the gate. Oh my gosh, he's having all these. And then he splits time with Enagbare against the Giants. Like, is he banged up? Is there something going on? Like, where has that production gone in that pass rush and getting to the quarterback?
Yeah, I just think that's who Rashawn Gary's been throughout the course of his career. He's a guy that he's the epitome of that. When the sacks come, they come in bunches, and then there'll be a few quiet weeks, and then you'll have another 3-sack game from Rashawn Gary, and then a few quiet weeks. And yeah, I thought it might be a little different with Micah Parsons teaming with him this season, but it's been a lot of the same. And so he certainly is at the forefront of guys that need a strong finish to this season, a strong closing 7 games, because when he's good, you have Micah Parsons on the other side. You're looking at the makings of the best bookend pass rush in the NFL, and that wins in January. When you can put together that kind of pass rush, you go a long way in the playoffs.
Ryan, tell me if you agree with this. I loved on Sunday whenever they brought a little more pressure at times, especially down whenever Giants got into the red zone. I'm a huge proponent. Like, I understand they want to try to get there with 4, but they're getting run on a little bit more than they did at times early in the season. And the blitz stops the run as well. And whenever they get pressure often and early, that can be a real benefit to this team. Do you think this team would serve them well to pressure at a higher rate than they have traditionally throughout the course of the season?
Yes, but what also does that is
yeah.
What also does that is getting out to that double-digit lead before giving up a point.
Exactly.
Nothing takes away the run game like playing with the lead. That's another reason why this team is built to play with the lead, because if there is a soft spot this Packers defense is very, very, very good. It is a borderline, if not legitimate, top 5 defense in the NFL. But if there's a soft spot, it is the run defense, right? Quarterbacks aren't even trying to challenge this pass rush at this point. They know that you can run it on this defense at times. You play with the lead, good luck with that, because now you're playing catch up, and you can't catch up just keeping the ball on the ground. At some point you have to challenge the pass rush. So playing with the lead, I think, is that's the best tonic for taking care of the run defense.
I was just I was thinking of a stat, and I don't know if any of y'all have it in front of you, but how many explosives has this defense given up this year? I'm looking back at game. I'm like, they really haven't given up a ton of explosive plays. That number has to be very low. Do you have any of those stats available, or do you know any of that off the top of their head, like where they kind of rank in giving up explosives?
I don't have the number in front of me. As of a few weeks ago, it was last in the league. I mean, it's very, very, very few. And I think there's 2 primary reasons for that. First is the pass rush. And the fact that you give up an explosive play, it means that quarterbacks have to have time in the pocket for receivers to get downfield. And there just is not that much time on a consistent, regular basis for quarterbacks to do that. But the other part of that is the back end. Xavier McKinney is still Xavier McKinney. Yeah. And defenses are not challenging him. And he's most often on the deep middle where you see a lot of explosive plays. So that combination of the elite pass rush and having Xavier McKinney playing center field is a great way to it's not going to be explosive plays. It's going to be a lot of checkdowns. What's interesting about that is one of the ideas I've seen on the social media verse bandied around about how to get the defenses to play less two shell against this Packers offense. And I was surprised how little the Giants did. There was a lot of one deep safety in New York. For the most part, that's how defenses are playing them. One of the ideas pontificated is, well, just throw them out of it with short passes. Just take what's underneath. Yeah, good luck with that, because how many offenses are having success with that recipe against this Packers defense? Jeff Hafley is right. Teams aren't going to win in this league on a consistent basis without explosive plays. You have to have explosive plays. Packers don't give up much on defense.
I don't trust AI. And AI is listening to me right now, so I'm about to have all sorts of issues in my life. But according to my Google search, the Packers have allowed the fewest 20-yard plays in the NFL this season, a total of 23. They've allowed the fewest 10-yard plays in the NFL this season with 96. They've not allowed one 15-yard plus run this season.
Wow.
That is just from my Google machine, which I love dearly and I'm beholden to as my Lord and overlord.
The film checks that out, and logic, just as I just said, checks that out. Teams don't have the time in the pocket to run deep, developing pass concepts. They don't give up a lot of explosive plays on the ground. This is a very, very good defense when it comes to limiting those big plays.
We got Ryan Wood joining the Mason Crosby show. You can find him at the Green Bay Press Gazette @ Ryan Wood. He's on the Gruber Law guest hotline, the guest hotline powered by Gruber Law.
That works.
I guess we can say it either way. Yeah. Okay. So let's go to the offensive side of the ball. Josh Jacobs gets out of the game, seemingly avoids a serious season-ending type injury as far as what we've heard. If he's not able to go, how do you see this offense going without Josh Jacobs in the backfield?
This is a great week to have a very solid backup running back, and they do it Emmanuel Wilson. It's going to be a lot of Emmanuel Wilson, and he's one of the better RB2s in the league. He had over 500 yards last year. Very few had a 1,000-yard rusher and a 500-yard backup, and the Packers were one. I think they have a lot of confidence in him. The big question for me in terms of specifically the run game is, can they develop a package with Malik Willis while Jordan Love is still healthy and available to help provide another dimension to this run game? Because it just seems like when Malik Willis is on the field, like that zone read, right, that 16 yards that converted the 3rd and 8, he's got a pop. He runs the ball like a running back. He throws awfully well too. He's not just a running quarterback. But he runs the ball like a running back. Is this a good week where you provide a little change of pace if you don't have Josh Jacobs and try to add some variety to your run game using a Malik Willis package? Is that something that we'll ever see this season? Because it's just, defensively, we talk about every defense wants to get its best 11 on the field. If it's the same way with offense, if you want to make a way that you can get your best 11 on the field, sure seems like Malik Willis might be one of their best 11. He's a playmaker. Every time that we've seen him since the start of last year, he makes plays. He has athleticism, and he can break down defenses with that athleticism. I wonder if we'll see at some point, maybe this week, a package for Malik Willis.
Did you hear that, Tommy?
I hate it.
We're not seeing a package for Malik Willis.
Ryan, let's just be real. Let's be real, Ryan. Ryan, is Malik Willis a part of the plan of the Green Bay Packers' success in 2025?
He has not been. I don't know that he should not be. This is an offense that cannot run the ball near well enough. But if he's going to be a very athletic backup quarterback who can run the ball, why not use him for a small smattering?
Do you want to put him in a running back?
You want to take Jordan Love off the field?
Yeah, for a few plays to help loosen up the run game. Why not? We're talking about helping the run game. We're not talking about a quarterback controversy. Jordan Love is the starting quarterback. He's a far superior passer. He's one of the best passers in the NFL. He is going to be the predominant quarterback. He is the passing game. But this is a running game that has struggled mightily all season. And you have a guy on the sideline who does not play, who might be able to help with that. And we're talking a few smattering of plays. I don't see why not.
Is the risk worth, okay, Malik Willis, you can run the ball. Let's get a couple of plays drawn up. Well, first of all, maybe it's a tell that there's an 80% chance at running, just like might as well call it 3rd and 2 on a hurry up for Green Bay if Malik Willis is in the game. And is it worth a risk? Now, we're putting more at jeopardy for Malik Willis to get hurt. And should that be at least noted? If Malik Willis isn't going to be available to be the backup quarterback, and God forbid something happened to Jordan Love, I don't see any risk reward to having Malik Willis take more reps. I think of Malik Willis as a guy who does his job. He did his job when he came into New York. I think he's the best backup quarterback in the NFL. So my expectation was the offense wasn't going to miss a beat once he had to come in for Jordan Love. I've seen enough of it out of Malik Willis where I do have trust in him. I want him to continue to focus on his job, which is be ready whenever, and whenever is virtually emergency.
I think that Malik Willis can walk and chew gum at the same time. I think he can be one of the best backup quarterbacks in the league, and the reward of using a Malik Willis package, and this is, again, a minority package. This is a small sampling of snaps. But the reward is that you're adding a dimension to the run game that is sorely lacking dimensions, especially potentially in a week without Josh Jacobs. That is a very clear reward. As far as injuries, look, it's an injury risk anytime anyone plays. Do you want your backup quarterback to be injured? No. But a small smattering of plays, that mitigates the risk with a clear reward. I don't see why not.
So one more real quick before we continue on from this. Trevor Thomas said that they should draw him up for 2-point conversions. Would you be open to something like that?
Sure. And, the other thing with Malik Willis is it's not exactly telegraphing that it's going to be a run play. He throws the ball fine. He's got an arm. Yeah. So if you got the defense completely selling out against the run, that's even better because he can hit you in the pass. And he can be a guy that keeps defenses off balance, especially if they're selling out in one phase. So, and as far as 2-pointers go, I'm keeping Jordan Love on the field as much as possible. I'm not in any way trying to pitch for a 50-50 split or anything like that at quarterback. No, it should be 90-10. But that 10% of it's 2-point conversions. If it's just a little bit of spark for the run game, that I see with where this run game has been, I don't see a reason why that shouldn't be the case.
I love this conversation, but I do think that LaFleur is a good play designer but he's not like a gimmicky, in a sense, not even like a over creative with his plays. Like it's just more, this is like the system and how it works. So I love the conversation, but I'm not even sure it's even like, a part of the mindset going up there in Green Bay right now, as far as like, we're not going to even try to do this at the moment. But I do think it's interesting. And last question I have for you is with the Jordan Love conversation, talking about Malik Willis, maybe, having a package, where do you put Jordan Love? Because we talked about this at the start of the season. Where do you put Jordan Love? Let's just say in the NFC. He's clearly right now the best in the NFC North. So in the NFC, where would you rank Jordan Love as far as quarterbacks?
Yeah, I don't know if it's clear. I mean, Jared Goff is maybe a system quarterback, but he runs that system at an extremely high level. And so Jordan Love's not a system quarterback. He has more talent than Jared Goff, but there are times that maybe he doesn't run the system as efficiently as a Jared Goff. I think you got to put Dak Prescott up there with the way that he's played this season. He's been phenomenal. But in terms of just pure talent, I'm not sure that Jordan Love takes a backseat to anybody. He is still young. There's still times that he's an aggressive guy. He wants to go downfield. He'll make some mistakes that you don't see other quarterbacks make. You don't maybe see a Jared Goff make or someone who plays it a little more efficient. But in terms of pure talent, arm talent especially, he's as talented as it gets in this conference. Yeah,
I liked I mentioned it on Monday, I think, with how some of his reactions to the drops on Sunday. I do think his progression is he holds himself accountable. He's usually cool as a cucumber, and he still was. But it's also like I don't want him like blaming somebody for a drop or like berating someone. But I do think there is this this accountability where it's like, all right, guys, like I'm doing all this. I'm giving you these opportunities. Like, let's take it to that next level. Let's not drop this pass. Let's get this thing going. I want to see that fire out of Jordan a little bit more. And I think I saw some of that on Sunday, and I actually really appreciated seeing like just a little like he was a little furious at a couple of those dimes he threw that were dropped. And I think that's a good progression for Jordan Love for sure.
The best thing about that, I thought, was that no matter how it has to be frustrating. I mean, he was 6 of 13 in the first half with 5 drops and then a 6 that was batted at the line of scrimmage to a wide open Josh Jacobs. That has to be frustrating. No matter how frustrating it got, he kept chucking. He did not waver. And that's impressive, especially for a third-year starting quarterback. Yeah. When you're having a day like that, let's add in the wind, the fact that there are 34-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and he's throwing it on a dime. He's doing his job. He's not getting the help consistently around him, and there's no waiver. That's awfully impressive. On top of that, best thing that he did, something that Jameis Winston was just begging to have happen and finally did at the very end. He took care of the football in those conditions at a very high level. On a day that one pick, it felt like was going to swing that game, he avoided that while he was chucking.
For sure. All right.
Nice.
Well, I'm good. Y'all got anything else?
No, I think it's Vikings week, and listen, I mean, they're starting the gauntlet in the division, but the Vikings aren't very good.
Ryan, would you rather have Malik Willis or JJ McCarthy at quarterback?
Oh, relax.
Long term, maybe still JJ McCarthy. There's a reason he was a first round pick, and I think that the Vikings are going to have to be a little patient with his development. This week, Malik Willis. Right? like he every time we've seen him, he just passes the test. And
he's done a great job.
You going to tell me that he's any worse than like a Bryce Young in Carolina right now? Like, I don't think he is. Is he one of the top 32 quarterbacks in the league? Maybe the bottom 10 of that, but yeah, he might be. Like he every time we've seen him, and it's been a small sample, he's looked like a guy that can start games in this league and manage an offense, make plays at a high level.
Yeah, it's smooth. It's not not erratic. It's not just like trying to make stuff up. Like he runs that offense, and LaFleur draws up plays that really suit his game every time he comes in.
What about you, Tommy? Who would you pick?
I would pick Malik Willis. I would. I'm not a Malik Willis hater.
You sound like a Malik Willis hater, man.
I'm not a Malik Willis hater. Okay. I'm a talking about Malik Willis hater.
Yes.
I hate that we're talking about Malik Willis.
I agree.
We have Jordan Love as the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. If they're not good enough to win with Jordan Love, it doesn't matter what Malik Willis can do on the field. It really doesn't.
But why haven't they been good enough? It's not the passing
Something's
game
not because I don't know if it's Love or the floor or a running game.
They are good enough. They're 6-3-1.
They're not good enough because
come on, they're 6-3-1.
But they're also not better because the offensive line has been horrible, and and the receivers aren't good enough, and the coaching hasn't been good enough, and Jordan Love's play hasn't been good enough. It was great this week, but for 10 games, it hasn't been to the level to make the rest of the team that much better if the rest of the team is going to be this bad.
Yeah, Mason, let me ask you. So when I say good enough, I mean to win a Super Bowl. Do you feel like right now the offense is at the level required to be good enough to win a Super Bowl?
No, they're not a dominant offense. They are not a dominant team at the moment all around.
And if it takes if it takes Malik Willis to make them a dominant offense, like, is that really what we're talking about? Like, do we really
I think Ryan maybe was saying it'd make them like they'd give a dynamic piece because that's another side of this offense. It's not dynamic in any way.
It's a chain reaction.
All right. I hear what you're saying. I just think in the history
defenses, other than the Giants, I have no idea why they played so much one high. That's just not the book against this offense. So defenses that are not part of 2-9 football teams know that you play too high safety. The Packers cannot run the football well enough. It will take away, mitigate their explosive plays that they thrive on. And so if you can loosen up the run game, if you can then pose a viable run threat that makes your play action better, that limits the number of too high looks that you're seeing, that can provide more explosive plays downfield. And if Malik Willis can be part of that solution, why not use him?
Yep.
All right.
Don't see it happening, but
no, I don't either. No, to be clear, I don't see that happening either. I mean, we saw it barely kind of start to percolate last season, then it went away very quickly. Matt LaFleur, after the game, was asked about it. He was open to it, but not really. It was one of those non-committal committals. I don't see it happening. I'm just saying, desperate times call for desperate measures. This is an offense that has found itself over the past. It was better in New York, but the 2 weeks before that, it was in desperate times. Maybe get a little creativity.
Yeah, creativity. And again, not something I think we see a lot of up there, unfortunately.
No, we can all agree on that. That's for sure. Ryan, thank you so much for jumping on today, and we will talk to you next week.
Appreciate it,
All right, take care, guys.
All right, Ryan Wood, Green Bay Press Gazette, joining us on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. From the all-pro, future all-pro quarterback of Malik Willis to the current best basketball player in the world, but for how much longer, and what does it look like after Giannis leaves the court last night with a groin injury? We don't have word from the Bucks yet, but we're going to come back and talk about what this could mean for our Milwaukee Bucks. 414-677-1250 on a scale of 1 to 10. How nervous are you for our Milwaukee Bucks if Giannis were to miss an extended amount of time? This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay.
This is the Mason Crosby Show, the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. What's up, Duluth Superior, Wausau, Green Bay, Milwaukee, and all points in between and on the other side. If you're listening on the Odyssey app or on our website or on YouTube or on Twitter, wherever you're watching or listening, thanks for being part of the show. Our thanks to Ryan Wood for jumping on the Gruber guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. And Mason, we saw some not so happiness last night in Cleveland. The Bucks lose 118-106, but obviously a much bigger concern. Giannis leaves with a groin that he seemed to be favoring. He's got a knee situation. It looked like he was a little ginger throughout the game, and then leaves with a groin injury where it was obviously very difficult for him to get up and down the court. And it's just not, it just doesn't feel good. It does not feel good, Mason Crosby.
What is a move or what's a plan if he's out for an extended period of time? This team without him
tanking now.
Yeah, it's just not the same. I mean, Sims, I was watching him last night. I mean, it was just like
he's a
some of the
athlete.
shots he threw up. I was like, what is that?
Yeah, he should not be shooting the ball.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the alley-oop from Rollins was pretty nice, but
right.
Yeah, it's it just doesn't feel like an electric team without Giannis on the court. So a little disappointing to see that. I'm not excited about it. I'm only excited about NBA Cup games until Christmas. So if Giannis is back by Christmas, then we're fine. Everything's good.
There you go. They don't have a cup game, I think, until a week from today.
Yeah,
until next Tuesday. So they're okay there. Giannis only played 13 minutes last night. He did have 14 points. The team had a 7-point lead after the first quarter.
What a difference.
Yeah. Huh? And it was tight. It was tight through 3. Cleveland did pull away at the end. We are seeing the emergence, no doubt about it, of Ryan Rollins. And I'm not sure if we're seeing the emergence of Ryan Rollins as like a really good player or the emergence of Ryan Rollins as a really good player on a bad team and somebody has to stat. 9 for 22 from the field, not great. Okay. 5 for 10 from 3, really good. 24 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, 4 turnovers, 1 steal. He did fine in 29 minutes, only 29 minutes, which, AJ Green plays 40 minutes. That was kind of interesting.
I think you'd play a little bit more.
And so I think that, while Bucks Nation is falling in love with Ryan Rollins, because dude can definitely ball. He's going to need to whatever leadership role he takes in the offense. If Giannis is out for more than a day or two, he's going to need to figure out like what his role is without Giannis, then what his role is with Giannis.
In your mind, is this worst case scenario? Giannis gets hurt.
Mm-hmm.
This team is bad, and they're not winning.
Right,
and then it's like, all right, well, now it's time. Now it's time to move on. Right? Like, is that kind of the mindset that's creeping in for everybody? It's like,
I think it is. 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talking text line. What's your worst case scenario? I don't know if that's worst case scenario. Like I'm really torn about like, if Giannis is out, let's say Giannis is out 4 to 6 weeks. Okay. And let's say this team, which is 8-7 now, which is nothing impressive at this point, is, a month from now, they play 14 games. They go 4-10. So they're 12-17 when Giannis comes back.
Yeah.
Are you really making a run at that point? Like, and what kind of, could you make a run to the playoffs?
Sure.
Could you make the playoffs? Sure.
Yeah.
At 12-17, you can get back to 500 and 500 makes the playoffs. But are you relevant if you're 41-41 and sneak into the playoffs?
Well, that's that's the concern, right?
Yeah.
Like Giannis getting hurt right now when this team's trying to figure out what they are, like what their identity, who they are. We had Camille Davis on last week, and she was like, their identity right now is that they're fun to watch. Like they're flying around the court doing all that. I didn't see that in the second half of this game last night.
No, they're not that fun
Giannis.
to watch. Right. They're not that fun to watch without Giannis. Like Miles Turner hasn't been as fun as I thought he'd be. Bobby Portis looks exponentially older. He does not look athletic or fun.
Yeah.
Kuzma's looked better than Portis, but not fun. Like, maybe he's looked a little fun, but they haven't looked that fun. Like
it's
they're not
exciting.
Right. I actually think the Porter injury really derailed what this team wanted to do. And I know Rollins has played really well, but I think with Rollins and Porter, you would have had a speed and an athleticism that they do not have right now.
Yeah, that's true. I just worry. Like, I've never bought into the, I want to win championship. Like, I'm going to go seek something else out, like Giannis conversation.
Yeah.
But in this sense, it's like you get hurt. Injuries can kind of, trick the brain or trigger the brain to think like, all right, well, I am actually getting older. I have limited, time on this basketball court. Is this the place that I can go chase another championship? So like an injury like this, for me, from a Giannis perspective, is the first time that I would say like he's going to have time. If it's a extended period of time that he's out, he's going to have time to kind of consider like, is this the team? He's going to watch these young guys. He's going to watch this team play without him.
Right?
Is this a team that I can build past this year to go try to win a championship?
Crosby, when Aaron goes out and it's 2014 or whatever that was, 2013, 12, somewhere around there.
Are you Seneca Walsing right now? Or are you...
I'm just wondering, like, the rest of the team during that stretch, right? You have to figure out how you are a much less talented team when a guy like Aaron Rodgers leaves because he's so amazingly talented, right? And now Giannis goes down. How do you as a team try to come together and figure out where you can, I guess, expose your strengths and not crumble when your superstar goes down? Because you've had it at least 2 seasons, right? Where Aaron was knocked out.
Yeah, I think that's a good question because I think the player mindset is, all right, next man up. Obviously, no one's going to be Giannis, but like, how do we play to our strengths? So you're going to have to adjust. You find different ways, like that season, right? Seneca Wallace comes in. I think he got hurt, right? Didn't even Vince Young play?
No, he was in the preseason that year.
Was that preseason?
Yeah, Tolzien, I think, was the other one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Badger.
Yeah, so you got a couple guys like coming in, and then it's just like adjust and find how to play to your strengths of who you have on the field. Like, you build everything around those star players. If they're not on the court, like, you have to have that quick adjust. All right, now this is the way we're going to play without that lead guy on the field. As a player mindset, it was like, yeah, we hate that Aaron's out. Yep. I'd go and visit Aaron at his house whenever he had his collarbone and it was just like, dude, and he would tell me, he'd be like, it's nice seeing y'all, because it's like you feel so isolated when you're hurt, right? Because it's like you get replaced pretty quick. Not as your status, not as your stature on the team, but it's like those games keep getting played. So you got to find a way. And so inside the building, they're saying, gosh, it stinks Giannis is hurt, but how are we going to lead this thing forward? Who's going to be that next guy to step up? Is it Bobby Portis's leadership? And then you see Miles Turner try to take a step. You see Ryan Rollins getting more involved in what that offense and what that game's going to be like. So these guys have to say, Giannis, if he's out, how are we going to be the best version of this Milwaukee Bucks team?
But how challenging is that in a locker room when Aaron Rodgers goes down and you have to try to believe that this team can still be this team?
I'm just going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you, like, they're all professionals. All of them think they're the best player that's ever, been in the game. So like their mindset, none of them are saying like, oh gosh, like, how are we going to do this? They're going right to work and they're saying, we're going to elevate this. Like, who's that next guy that's going to elevate and find a way to be the best version of themselves? So I'm telling you, in that locker room right now, nobody's feeling sorry for themselves and saying like, oh my gosh, like, Giannis is out, like we just suck. They're going to say, I'm a baller. I'm going to go out there and do my job. It might not happen, but that's how you get to that level. You have a mindset that you are going to run through a wall. You're going to compete every night, every day. And I have no doubt that they have the players in that building, because you wouldn't be in the NBA if you weren't that type of person.
Yeah, I think we are all on pins and needles waiting for the news from the Milwaukee Bucks and to see what happens. But we're also, seeing the development of Ryan Rollins. We're hoping, there were too many times in the fourth quarter last night. They were playing fast throughout the game. And then in the fourth quarter, the ball goes to Ryan Rollins and everybody just stands around and watches him.
Yeah.
It's like, You can't do that. Like, I get that he's taking the most shots and he's probably the best offensive player on the court right now, but you got to run offense. Like, you got to move the ball. You got to move. He passes to AJ Green like 3 straight possessions, and AJ Green's got the ball, and everybody just stands there. Ryan Rollins is calling for the ball to come back to him because he knows he can make a play, and everybody else is just standing there.
Yeah.
And I wanted, if Mason and I had our Doc Rivers hats on and we were on the sideline with our 8-year-old girls, playing basketball, coaching them, we would have been screaming at these kids. Move, somebody cut through the lane. Just start zigzagging. Set picks, move, do something. And they just got too stuck watching the ball, which is what we saw for 2 years with Dame. Like, we don't have Dame on the team. That's not the offense we want to see.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's so much harder in a game when a guy goes out, right? You hopefully we'll see something different. Mm-hmm. Yes, if Giannis doesn't play, like you prepare and you plan.
Yeah,
like when you go into a game and he's playing, he's scoring, he's got 14 points in 13 minutes. It's going to be a great Giannis night. You have a lead and he gets hurt, then you're just like, okay, now what? But yeah, like they need to have that conversation, that realization. Like, good planning is you plan for those contingencies. So. With Giannis being down, like the new mindset needs to be, here's the Giannis plan. Giannis not in the game. Here's the plan we're going with. Like that. Like, and I'm sure they have that, but it needs to be able to click at a high level. And so, honestly, the weirdest thing I could say here is that the best thing could be if Giannis just says like he's out 10 days or he's out 2 weeks, or something like that, and they can just play these games, and then it's like, all right, Giannis is coming back. And now we're bringing him back and playing the way we play with Giannis.
The Bucks most likely will own their own draft pick this year. They have the worst pick of theirs in New Orleans, and New Orleans is going to be a very high pick, so they will not get that pick. They will have the worst of their pick, so they will get their pick. Right now, they're at 14th in the league, but who knows where, there's still tons of time. We will continue to monitor that as well. It is time coming up for Mason's extra points. Whatever's on Mason's head, whatever's going on in that big dome of yours, bro.
Yep. Just rolling around. I don't know. Yep. I just had to run out during that last break because we got someone doing some maintenance on the HVAC system, so I had to let them in.
Yeah, you got to make sure you have heat for the winter.
Molly's texting
even
me.
In Nashville, it gets cold, bro.
Oh yeah. Well, you got to make sure they're running, properly as it starts cooling off a little bit.
All right, already think about this. What's the best wine you tried yesterday? Don't answer it. I want it in Mason's extra points.
All right,
this is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon.
What's on Mason Crosby's mind today?
Now I'm thinking.
It's time for Extra Points, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis.
Tell me what's on your mind.
On the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
All right, great Tuesday here, fellas, on the Mason Crosby Show. Really appreciate everyone that jumped on. Trevor Thomas, Ryan Wood. We had some good talks about Jordan Love, this Packers team, and what's going on. A lot of Malik Willis talk, which I didn't expect.
Not enough. We need more.
The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line, Tyson from Zilla said the Bucks need to find their Malik Willis. What do y'all think of that?
Oh, I think they would probably just be better if Giannis was just on the court as much as possible.
No, they'd be better.
You know what I mean?
No, they'd be better if a replacement for Giannis, who was like 43% as good as Giannis, was on the court.
Just take Giannis off every couple minutes just to put somebody else in.
That's what that logic means, right? Like, that's the same thing. It's annoying.
It is.
I wore a polo to work today, Mason, and
I don't even recognize you.
Yeah, the first line I got was, "Whoa, so fancy," from the sales office.
Wow.
But they were dead serious. Like, they were impressed with my dress.
Right, because we dress like crap.
They thought you got a raise. They thought you were.
Yeah, that'll be the day.
I have enough Odyssey points to get the full-time backpack now. So I'm wondering. I'm wondering if I should get the backpack and then come in and be like, "You guys see this?"
Force the hand.
And they're going to be like,
"Is there an Odyssey polo? Do you wait for the polo?"
Dude, no. I can buy anything in the Odyssey store now.
Oh my
God. The Odyssey.
All right, I got to give you more points.
That's a big day.
Mason, what was the best wine you had yesterday?
Best one I had, Drew Brees Bledsoe wine, was his double back. Kind of estate Cabernet is awesome. So
nice.
They've been producing that since 2007.
Wow!
So a long run there.
Do you ever get sad that you have a wine but like you don't have a steak to go with it? Like, do you just feel like when you're drinking a good red wine, like someone should just like magically appear with a steak?
Well, don't worry. We always have like a little food pairing. When we do our podcast. So, like we had like wine, or we had cheese and crackers and some olives yesterday. It was kind of like an interesting one. And then the other night though, we did a wine podcast. So if you want to listen, it's for your Thanksgiving pairing.
Oh,
yeah. So like get yourself ready. What kind of wine to take to a Thanksgiving meal? Go to Crosby's Crew
with that moist turkey.
Exactly, and it's a hard pairing. Turkey, everyone was like, it's kind of a hard pairing, but we had some good ones. So we actually had some Thanksgiving, dishes, stuffing and mashed potatoes, turkey, and then we also did tailgating. We also had wine pairings for tailgating.
I mean, now you're speaking our language.
Exactly.
Finally.
Yeah, some cheese curds, some brat and some like a cheeseburger. It was awesome. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. I was eating the whole time. I was just like, this is what I need for the wine podcast every time.
Well, a little bit of a slow sports night tonight. It is opening night in girls basketball in high school basketball in Wisconsin. So Big Rumble will be on the JV court for Whitefish Bay, taking on Muskego. And we're excited for that.
Nice.
But besides that, let's all live our lives. Let's get a little Human Tuesday tonight.
Human Tuesday tonight, and then I'll be on Wednesday. Wednesday with Mason Crosby on his own show tomorrow. That's going to be awesome.
Can't not wait.
Find your inner
to talk to
Willis.
Andy Herman, right? Like it's a rare Andy Herman sighting. I love it.
Oh, I like that, Tommy. We should all find our inner Malik Willis tonight.
Oh gosh.
He's Tommy Wirtz. He's Mason Crosby. My name's Mitch Nellis, aka Thunder. We are the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Have a great Tuesday, everybody.
I was